Tarvisio is an alpine location at the crossroad of 3 countries, which makes it extremely interesting. And the nature is very prominent compared to the human intervention. We are Beltrame Breuil and we are an European team of architects. We come from the Alps, but we lived and worked and studied across different countries and cities. Now we are back between the Alps and the city of Vienna, where we work on different scale of architecture, landscape, design and interiors.
Nature is really important in our work because it's where we drag all the principles that we try to place then into the project. And we see as well that each element in nature has its own agency. And it's what we are also trying to do in architecture. So the architecture recreate and also communicate with this whole entity of things.
When we started to design the ski school, we took in consideration the landscape, but also the experience of the skiers and the people that would enter the space. The landscape around us is characterized by valleys and peaks and mountains growing and declining. And we wanted to create an architectural gesture that is informed by that. So every segment of the building is created with a timber frame, and each frame is a little bit higher than the previous one. So we go from the very low 1-floor beginning to the double height, almost triple height top.
To find idea and inspiration for any project, first of all, it starts from the site, and most of the time we get inspired from that. So it can be either a natural element, it can be an emotion, it can be a principle coming from nature that we try to inject in the project.
It can be the way that a bark of a tree ages and fades and grays over the time, that is reflected in a facade, in the shingles, or acquires a patina over the years. Piña in Italian means pine cone. And then the shell that embraces it, done with the large shingles, resembles the scales of a pine cone. What really was inspired by nature is how you can be in touch with the tree, how you can be in extremely close proximity with a trunk, as a pine cone would do. Or how il pino sits almost in a shy way between the other trees without disrupting the surrounding too much. So there's always an interplay for us between what you see and what you feel. It's not only a visible inspiration, but an experiential one as well.
So the way that nature is inspiring our project is not necessarily aesthetically or formally, but this approach we also try to infuse it in an urban context. So we work as well on local materials that are really specific to the place and that recall the surroundings in the same way that we will do it in a natural environment. To be engaged in the urban context is also bringing more and more impact for the public realm, and will really address the whole population in the context of climate change, in the context of social gathering and equity. And this is something that we would like to address also in the capitals and in the larger metropolis. So we don't feel limited by scale or by topics that we want to address. We really see the architecture as a whole, and we see that our concept and our ideas can be really spanned from the smallest intervention inside to the largest one as an overall architecture or overall landscape or urban planning.
The dialogue between nature and architecture is what really characterizes deeply our practice. We believe that it should be always a dialogue and a balance and an harmony between these two core elements. For us, the architecture sits within the nature and the nature surrounds the architecture, and therefore these two parts cannot be separated and needs to be taught at the same time together.